I had always trusted my best friend, Lily, and my husband, Jack, without question. Lily and I had been best friends since high school, and when I met Jack in college, the three of us became an inseparable trio. Our bond felt unbreakable. Lily was like the sister I never had, and Jack, the love of my life. For years, we shared everything together: vacations, holidays, milestones, and I was grateful for how close we all were. It felt like I had the perfect life: a caring husband and a best friend who was practically family. But looking back, maybe it was too perfect. Things began to change subtly after our fifth wedding anniversary. Jack started staying out late more often, claiming he had work to catch up on, or sudden late meetings that had come up. At first, I believed him because he had always been hardworking, but the frequency of these late nights started to weigh on me. I tried not to overthink it, telling myself that his job was demanding and that I needed to be supportive. However, small things started to bother me. Sometimes Jack would come home with the faint smell of perfume that wasn't mine. When I asked about it, he would laugh it off, saying it was probably just from the women at the office. I wanted to believe him, but I couldn't shake the unease. Things took a sharper turn when Lily started acting differently. She was always bubbly and present, but suddenly she seemed more distant. Our usual weekly hangouts became less frequent, and whenever I tried to reach her, she would either respond hours later or not at all. I chalked it up to her being busy with work, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. One night, Jack came home late again, and this time I couldn't stop myself from checking his phone while he slept. I found messages between him and Lily, but nothing that screamed infidelity, just friendly banter. Still, something about the tone of the conversations felt too intimate, too familiar. I confronted Jack the next day, but he brushed it off, saying I was reading too much into things. He claimed that he and Lily were just good friends and that I had nothing to worry about. But the seed of doubt had already been planted. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was going on between them. A few weeks later, Jack told me he had to go on a business trip for the weekend, something that seemed last minute and out of the ordinary. He packed quickly and left, kissing me goodbye as if nothing was wrong. But my instincts were screaming at me. That night, I decided to meet Lily for coffee to clear my head and maybe get some clarity. But Lily was unusually unavailable. No texts, no calls, nothing. My gut told me something was seriously wrong. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked Jack's location through a tracking app we had installed on our phones. To my shock, he wasn't at the city where his business trip was supposed to be. Instead, he was at a hotel just an hour away from where we lived. My heart raced as I got in the car and drove there. When I arrived, I parked a distance away from the entrance and waited. After what felt like an eternity, I saw them, Jack and Lily, walking out of the hotel together, laughing and holding hands like they were a couple. My heart shattered into a million pieces. How could they? The two people I loved most in the world had been betraying me right under my nose. I didn't confront them that night. I went home in a daze, trying to process the betrayal. When Jack returned the next day, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I confronted him, showing him the proof, the messages, the tracking location, and the fact that I had seen him with Lily at the hotel. At first, he denied it, but when he saw I had the evidence, he broke down and confessed. He admitted that he and Lily had been seeing each other for months, and that they hadn't meant for it to happen. It started with innocent flirtation, but then it escalated into something more. I was devastated, but there was another bombshell waiting to drop. In his confession, Jack revealed that this wasn't the first time he had been unfaithful. Before his affair with Lily, there had been someone else, a coworker at his office named Emily. He had been secretly seeing her for almost a year before things with Lily started. The weight of the double betrayal hit me like a truck. Not only had my best friend and husband been sneaking around behind my back, but Jack had been living a double life for much longer than I had realized. I felt like I didn't even know the man I had married. The next few days were a blur. I didn't know how to face Lily or what to do with Jack's confessions. My whole world had been ripped apart. I had lost my husband and my best friend in one fell swoop, and now I had to process that Jack had been unfaithful long before Lily ever entered the picture. But the betrayals weren't over yet. As I began to dig deeper into Jack's phone and email, I uncovered more secrets. There were hidden messages from another woman, Rachel, someone I had never even heard of. Rachel was another coworker, and from what I could piece together, Jack had been involved with her while still seeing Emily, before things shifted to Lily. Jack's affairs weren't just a one-off mistake. They were a pattern, a web of lies and deceit that spanned years. I was floored. This wasn't just a betrayal by one person. It was an entire series of betrayals that left me feeling utterly broken. I confronted Jack again, and this time he had no defense. He admitted to everything, saying he didn't know why he did it and that he had a problem. He begged for my forgiveness, saying he wanted to make things right, but I couldn't even look at him anymore. The trust had been shattered beyond repair. As for Lily, I didn't speak to her for weeks. She sent me messages, apologizing over and over, saying that she never meant to hurt me, but her words felt empty. How could she do this to me after all we had been through? How could she sleep with my husband and then pretend like nothing was wrong? Eventually, I agreed to meet with her, but the conversation didn't go the way I had hoped. Instead of taking full responsibility, Lily admitted that she had been jealous of me for years. She said she had always felt like I had the perfect life and that she had been secretly envious of my relationship with Jack. When their affair started, she didn't stop it because she wanted what I had. Hearing her say those words broke my heart all over again. This wasn't just about the affair. It was about years of hidden resentment that I had never even known existed. In the end, I cut ties with both Jack and Lily. The pain of losing both my best friend and my husband was unbearable, but I knew I had to move on. I filed for divorce and started the process of rebuilding my life from the ground up. It wasn't easy, but over time, I began to heal. I learned that sometimes the people you trust the most are the ones who are capable of the deepest betrayal, and that trust, once broken, can never truly be repaired. The scars of those betrayals will stay with me forever, but they've also made me stronger. I no longer take people at face value, and I've learned to trust my instincts. The hardest lesson of all was realizing that sometimes the people closest to you are the ones with the darkest secrets.